I'm finding that getting increasingly frustrated with clients or individuals. Not in our team, just we're getting to another level where our clients are a lot more professional and sophisticated, and they've got money and all this sort of stuff. So that's fantastic. But an example of this is yesterday. A storm come through a week or so ago, and a concrete waffle pod, so a styrofoam pod, flew off and hit the neighbour's aerial, and we've been trying to get it fixed. And he rang me and absolutely gave me a spray, and I just wasn't in the mood for it. I wasn't in the right mindset, and I just gave him a spray back, which, I guess sometimes, there's a point of sticking up for yourself and your team and what you do. But I'm finding that happens a little bit more and more often. I'm just getting the shits with people. So I guess, how do you obviously have a lot of clients in your business, and you're dealing with a lot of people's money and those sorts of things. So I'm sure you get those same anxious and frustrated clients, or, those difficult situations as well. And I think, I'm just finding that it doesn't necessarily ruin my day, but it sometimes can. But I also sometimes can't control me going, well, you know what? You're a fuckwit. It's not my problem.
Yeah.
How can you help me with that one? Bit of wusa or yoga, or what do you want?
Nah. So you get them by the neck and just
yes. Thank you.
You got to hit them hard where you break their jaw, and then it's usually easy from then. Like you move forward and they have no jaw and they can't talk anymore. So that's how I've always. Nah, that's not how you do it.
Thanks, mate. That's all I need to know. See you.
All right. Okay, cool. So key action for today. This is exactly not what to do. I do not condone violence in one way, shape, or form.
No, you're right, mate.
What I think is important in this is I get frustrated as all hell with people, just like you do, just like Max does, just like Andrew does, as Benson does, Jared does, Luke does. All you boys get the shits, right? If you don't, you're not human. And you probably want to wrangle some people and all the rest of it. I have a lot more clients than you boys because I'm in the industry. You don't have the same dollar value, which I think is your blessing. You don't have to deal with as many people, right? That's why ideal clients are so important. Be there on Friday. But how you deal with it is, I've got a client, very good client, very good builder, and he used to just go and just start raging at clients. And then one of his strategic partners, which is a very big real estate agent on the coast, said, you cannot speak to clients like that. No matter how angry, frustrated you are, it doesn't matter what happens. You're the idiot that took on the clients, so you're the idiot that's got to deal with it, right? And that's what that real estate said to this builder, who's a really good client of mine. The reality is we all choose our own fate and our own destiny, and we choose our clients. So we have to take full responsibility for that. And then once you engage in that client-you relationship, it's your job to show up, their job to show up, and you guys having a good amicable relationship moving forward. So my point is when you're frustrated, mate, you're pissed off at people, you've got to put your reaction, and you've got to put your aggression, and you've got to put your frustration and all that other fun stuff to the side. You've got to let it go, and you've got to be as diplomatic as you possibly can be, as much as none of us want to be like that. Right? Because sometimes with my stuff, I just want to go fucking do your job. Like, it's not that fucking hard. I'm sick of listening to, urban beats all the time, and I just need you to do your job, right? If I do that, guess what happens is their nice little defensive ego pops up and goes, yeah, fucking do that. And then it's a tit for tat. No one wins. So what I'm going to say to you is I'm going to give you a strategy, right? I'm not just going to say, oh, this is how you should do things. I'm going to give you a strategy. When you do enough personal development work, you learn that we all have these nice egos, right? Andrew's got an ego, I've got an ego, I've got multi-egos, you've got egos, etc., etc. When someone affects that ego or that understanding of who you are and what you are, it hurts like fucking hell because that's your whole identity, right? So if you start going in, getting in arguments with people, you're never going to win. There's a book on it, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it says you never win an argument ever. So you got to play the game. That's the secret, right? Is so if you knew this guy was a client, for example, and he's like having a hissy fit, just play the game with him. Just listen to him and ask better questions and work with him so he has all this perceived power, and then just move him to where you need him to be. But the hardest way to move people is when you're going, fucking idiot, what are you doing? Because then he gets his back up, and then you can never move him to where you needed to move him. So the answer is always, mate, you have to play the game. There is no other way. I've never found another way except for to play the game, play with their egos, and then move them to where you need to move them to. But in terms of, there's another part of this. It's not just playing them and almost manipulating the situation to be able to lead and move them to where you need to move them to. The other part is energy management as well, because there's a lot of mornings where I wake up and I get frustrated or I get angry at someone or something or some occurrence or whatever. And I think finding like mentors and finding people you listen to that keep you in a high energy space is really important. Otherwise, you'll find yourself, you keep getting frustrated. So it's an energy management thing. So what I listen to most mornings is a chick called Esther Hicks, which I mentioned in a few coaching sessions ago. Esther Hicks, Jerry Hicks, they're all about frequency and vibrations and energy management and feeling good and all the fluffy spiritual stuff. But man, it makes me aware of how I'm showing up. And that if I show up as a shit head and a shit mood and blaming everyone else, that's going to keep coming back into my space. And I'm going to attract more and more of it. So I consciously go, fuck, I feel like shit, I'm angry, but if I feel better and I feel nicer and I'm nice to people and I'm having more fun in the experience, that's going to come back at me and I'm going to get the outcomes I want. So it's partly playing to other people's egos, and it's also partly you feeling good through the process. So look, I got a great builder client. One more example. Yesterday wasn't very nice to me on text, just very short and blunt on something that's not my responsibility in any way, shape, or form. Initially, I wanted to react and go, this is your fucking responsibility. Don't come being short, sharp, and that's me. That's my ego reacting. And I said, look, this isn't a me thing. This is a him thing. He's just got some shit going on. That's all good. And I was just fucking super nice to him. And I'm like, hey, buddy, this needs to get done. Usually something we don't do. It's usually something you do because you need to do it because it's all your identity and stuff that needs to be, proven, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, jump on, do this, and this, and you'll get the actions. Like, that's fucking amazing. And I'm like, had I reacted, it would have just been probably a lost client. So you got to play with your emotions and your feelings. You have to play that game. And you've also got to play with theirs as well. That's probably what I'm going to give you as a takeaway.
Yeah, cool, man. No, I appreciate that.
Anyone else got any ideas on this little fun dealing with hard people and how to do it constructively?
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah, even if you don't want to, just play the game.
Well, someone once said to me, if you hold a grudge or you hold resentment towards someone, it's only affecting you.
Fucking oath. Every day of the week. Like every day. It's mirror image. It just is. It's like staff member or client comes in here and I give them I feel bad towards them and my energy gives them some shit. They're going to come back to me and they're going to give me shit. And then I've just created a shit fight. But if they come in and I try and channel myself to more positive places with the client, that's what they're going to give me back, which is good feeling. So it's like, it is mirror image. Absolutely. Max, you're an auctioneer. You obviously have dealt with a lot of fucking people over the years. Have you got any little tricks and strategies to deal with hard people and getting what you want, mate? You get fucking top property prices for people, so you must know how to manipulate the situation.
It's actually one, like, it's funny you say that. I do get that situation all the time. Like, you'll get people and their whole tactic bidding at an auction is to be disruptive, piss us off, ask questions that they actually don't even care about. One thing I will do if I vibe that they're doing that, like some people will do that straight away. I'll ask them why they want to know something. So people will be like, oh, are we on the market yet? And I'll ask them back to them, or being on the market or not being on the market, why does that change what you want to do, which is purchase the house? And I'll ask them that question. So I guess it's like diffuse the situation rather than going, we're not on the market, or I'll just answer like, because a lot of the time people will ask the question and they're asking it, as you're saying, to kind of like get you aggravated. And like you'll see it with a client, they're asking because they know it'll piss you off. Sometimes I give them the blunt answer and it shocks them. Like I'll be like, no, we're not on the market. And you're second in the, for instance, for me, it's auctions. I'll be like, and you're running second in the bidding. You can't buy it from that position anyway. I guess it's a bit different. You have a crowd there as well, so it's probably a little bit different. But the other tactic that we use as well is you just diffuse the situation. So run straight away with something else. Like I'll be like, guys, like as in like try and get to an, as you were saying before, Ryan, try and get to another place rather than that exact topic. I'll try and get to somewhere else that is a better, more positive thing than what they're asking.
Yeah, it is. It is because they're coming in geared, they're coming in reactive, they're coming in attacking, and your job really, Jeremy, is and all your other guys is to move them to positive pastures. Like just like yourself. So we said energy management in the morning. If you're in a shit mood, you've got to find a way to get yourself in a higher vibration, higher place. If you're hating someone, you've got to find a way to kind of want to help them and like them, even though they're a pain in your ass right now, because that's a them thing. That's the damn thing. When someone gives Maxie the, are we on the market right now? And Max was like, you're a fucking idiot. He's better off going, we're not on the market, mate. But how badly do you want this property? Like just change the motive, change the focal point, and then you get a better outcome for you.
Pick that up too is what I always say, because you send an email and you read an email, and I always do it. I'll read an email, and then if I think someone's been like a prick to me, I'll read it in a fun, happy voice, and I'm like, oh wait, maybe they're not being a prick. Like maybe they actually are legitimately asking or want to know that. And like I automatically get my heckles up, and I'm like, look at this email they sent. Like this is bullshit. Like, and then you ring them, and they actually don't mean it like that. And if I replied how I typed my initial email, I would have been just fighting them back kind of thing.
So we're all taking shit way too personal. That's the key to this, Jerry. We're taking shit way too personal. Because my dad does it. Goes, Ryan, can you please do this? And I'm like, just fucking say, hey, Ryan, with a bit of a smile emoji and a thumbs up or a love heart, and I'll do it. So everyone just. So the answer is yeah.
Dad.
Yeah. So start sending more emotions, and you'll be sweet, Jeremy. We'll all be sorted.